Alright, welcome to Dirty Scratch Eliminator Tournaments. This is the second one of this season so far. You have Brandon Novak on the left lane starting out. He is facing his Dan Higgins and Brandon with a stone smash, whatever you want to call it, 7-pin. And Brandon Novak, the wonder from down yonder in Chillicothe. He's using the C System Alpha Max at 1,000. And his goal for today, as he saw transition breakdown, he actually moved right through it harder with less tilt, which was completely opposite of what everybody else was doing. A lot of people moved to left throughout the day. He decided to go right. And his goal for this championship game is to strike as much as possible. And now you're going to get your look at Dan Higgins. Very, very smooth style, clean release. And he is using the Nomad Dagger pinned down, and he is pretty far left. And we'll see where he's going to start off in this championship match. And he goes for the strike straight in the pit. Dan Higgins has been pretty consistently in the pocket all day. He never really got himself in too much trouble. Therefore, he's in the finals. So we'll see what he's about to do today. Either way, you're going to have a first-time winner for a Dirty Scratch Eliminator tournament. And there's Danny again. Got a pretty good shot there for him. Straight in the pocket, just where he wants it. After 4 games, we had Dan Higgins at number 7, Brandon Novak at 4th. After the 6 games, well, here's Brandon's shot real quick. Brandon grabbed it a little bit. 10-pin. And his carry doesn't seem to be favorable. His first 2 shots, stone 7, stone 10. Hopefully he doesn't leave them together. But after 6 games, we had Brandon Novak in 6th place and Dan Higgins at 3rd. So both of them stand pretty far up in the list for the whole day. Brandon picking up the spare, and we have Deadwood. Guess it's time for a small commercial break. Thank you to our sponsors, Wolfe Video Productions, of course, for putting this awesome video together. HP Bowlers Pro Shop, the American Bowler Stormers Pro Shop. Thank you very much. I need to be patient. Break. We are back with the action. And here's Brandon Novak. And that's right through the face. You can see it picking up on that dry spot. Maybe keeping to the right might not be the smartest game plan here. As now he's going to go for the 3-6. This spare is pretty easily choppable, where he only picks off one of the 2 pins. We're going to see how he's going to go straight at it, real hard, real fast. And he gets all 2, no problem. And the road to get here was actually very interesting. We had a 4-way tie at 191 to get into the top 4. Chad Roberts eventually won that tie out of Jason Lundquist, David Harold, and Matt Bigelow. And Dan Higgins and Brandon Novak never even saw that 4-way tie. And Dan Higgins leaves it out there. Probably short-arm that one from the looks of it. We had no 300s this time. Dirties. And here's Higgins going for a spare hard and straight. And he chops it. Wow. That's hard to do, especially for a right-hander going at the left-hand side double spare. That is, spare ball knocked it straight back. He's on the left lane now. He's getting into the ball real clean. He looks like he's throwing it real good. Last shot just kind of sailed on. We'll see what this shot does. He gets it a little outside. It's going to kick up. 3-6-10 through the face. That might have been a small over-adjustment off the last shot for him. He saw that ball go light, so he might have either got around it a little more, maybe moved a little bit more right. And it goes through the face. We'll see if he can convert to spare this one. This 3-6-10 is very, very easily choppable as well. We'll see what he does here. And he chops the 3 off the 6-10. And Brandon Novak is licking his chops at the moment. Back-to-back open frames. Here's a good look at Brandon Novak's unique style. He goes way outside, washout. Wow. The 1-2-4-10 washout. Not a good shot. Looks like nobody's going to want to take advantage of this match. Brandon, this is an easy open frame for some people. See if Brandon can convert. He looks good, and he converts it. The washout made. He dried it up. See what he's going to do with this shot. He sailed that one. See if he makes an adjustment or if he just keeps on going on with the same line he has. No strike yet for Brandon Novak. We'll see if he can change that with this shot. And he does. 7-band kind of fell out there a little late. No problem, though. Brandon with a clutch washout spare has taken the lead in this match. So we'll see what Danny Higgins is going to do here. After chopping both spares you shot at the last 2 times, which is very abnormal for him. Dan is a very good spare shooter. We'll see, he kind of sails that one a little bit. And he leaves double wood. 2-8 for those number-specific people at home. See if he can convert here. He is probably going to hook at it. Yes, he is. He will hook at this. It's the easiest way to make this. And he makes it no problem. Dan definitely does not want to let this match go too out of hand for him. He wants to make sure he gets it back on the strike train as soon as possible. Brandon Novak just threw a strike in the 5th frame, as you saw. And here's Dan Higgins trying to work off that 8 spare, trying to make it a strike. We'll see if he does here. Ooh. And that is not good. A split, nasty split, the worst possible time now. 4-7-10. This is very hard for right-handed to pick up. You know, almost just gets to 7 there. And that shot didn't actually look all that bad. It looks like the lane 11 is jumping just a little bit more than lane 12 is. Looks like to see if it looks to see if they had a little dry spot on lane 11. Here's Brandon on lane 12. That ball, perfect strike. Brandon Novak takes advantage of the open frame there by Dan Higgins. And here we go with Brandon. Just a strike here would almost lock up the match. See what he does there. Oh, straight through the face for Mr. Brandon Novak. As I said before, that lane 11 seems to have a jump spot on it. Brandon's throwing 1,000 grit, and when it hits that spot, it's going to jump no matter how fast you're throwing it. See if he can make the split. Only gets the 310 out of there, not the 9. So, Danny Higgins now has an opportunity to make this interesting. He hasn't struck since the second frame. So we're going to see how he's going to make an adjustment here. And it looks good off his hand. It is good off his hand. Fantastic shot. Put emphasis on the comeback here, the start of a comeback, hopefully, for Mr. Dan Higgins. Dan the Man Higgins. Here we go, as we're getting a great look at Dan's smooth style. Dan has a great game if you want to copy someone's game. Dan has one to copy. Now here you go. Wow. 2 flush pocket strikes. Makes you wonder what he was doing in the 6th frame. But he just put himself right back in this matchup. Brandon cannot afford another open frame here. He pulled it. Wow, trips the 4 out late. A little lucky on that shot. He knows it. But this is the problem lane. For both of these bowlers so far, it's been the problem lane. Lane 11. Brandon taking a little step left there. We'll see what he can do. Wow, and it still goes high. But 6, 7, 10 is makeable from the. And I've seen it happen quite. It's not often. We've seen it happen. See if he can make this. Going for it. Only gets the 6, 10. And that very detrimental, especially after Dan Higgins just packed the last 2 shots. We'll see if Dan Higgins can celebrate Thanksgiving early, get himself a turkey here. Here we are, a very pivotal moment. 9th frame is going to come down to it. See what happens here. A little left. It skids a little too far. He's in shock. But a flat 10 it is. Dan Higgins, if he strikes out, can still win this thing by 2 pins. We do have the potential of a tie. Dan Higgins goes strike 8. And Brandon Novak strikes out. They have a tie. He has to make this though, and he does, no problem. This is very, very pivotal now. Dan has to throw pretty much all 3 strikes in the 10th. At least the first 2. So he's probably going to take it shot by shot. I guarantee you what he's not thinking. He's not thinking he's going to miss this. I look for this to be in the pocket real solid. We'll see what happens with the carry, but I look for it to be in the pocket. It is. Beautiful shot. He needs 1 more of those and 9 pins. If he can do that, he is the champion of Dirty Scratch Eliminator tournaments this month. Here's Dan. This is probably the most important strike of the tournament for him. Some noise in the background caused him to step off. Very wise decision. He's going to reset, refocus. It's going down to the 10th frame. Two of the best bowlers in Columbus going at it right here. There's a handful of people that would consider the best bowlers in Columbus. These are 2 of them. We'll see if this is good. It is. Now, here's where it gets tricky. 9 to win. 8 for the potential of a tie. 7 for the potential of a loss. I'm sure he's going to want to get all 10 down just to make sure. But we've seen weird carry before. We'll see what happens. Here he goes. And he gets it right where he wants it. And there it is. Dan Higgins, the champion of this month's Dirty Scratch Eliminator Tournaments, DSET, whatever you want to call it. Dan, the man, Higginski, wins it. And Brandon Novak just finishing up. Valiant effort by Brandon, that's for sure. But Brandon Novak will finish second. Dan Higgins, the $500 goes to him. As we're going to see, Brandon once again finishing out his game. He did have a good tournament. He bowled good all day. Light pocket hit. Why not? And if he strikes here, he's going to lose by 2 pins. So a very close match again, as you guys just saw. Oh, he's going to throw it straight and hard. 185 to 188. Dan Higgins is the winner. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Stay classy, Columbus, Ohio.